Let's talk about organic traffic. What is organic traffic? Organic traffic is different from cold traffic in the sense that cold traffic, which again, I love all this stuff. Cold traffic's amazing. This seminar would not exist without cold traffic. I should have learned to do cold traffic better, but I'm just not disciplined enough. That's my problem. Like, I'd rather go skiing. You know what I mean, right? Like, I'd rather go ski for 4 months. I'm on a completely torn left ACL right now because I skied so crazy last year. I gotta get surgery on it. Like, I'd rather just do a big party in my house and have the neighbors call the cops. Like, yeah, my neighbors fucking hate me. I used to have 2 houses on my street up in the Hollywood Hills. We'd have like 2 ragers going, like the whole neighborhood's taken over. Like, I'd rather go do that. I'd rather go out to a bar. I'd rather just go see a movie than sit around doing like cold traffic ads because I don't have the discipline. I just don't. You know what? Can I tell you guys why I don't have the discipline, by the way? You want to know why? Because once you pay yourself over $100K a month, you're really not that happier. Like, what are you going to really buy past that? Right? So everyone's like, I need to be a billionaire. Why? I have clients that are billionaires. They're fucking miserable. They hate their lives. It doesn't mean that you would automatically, but like, why would you do that? Do you understand? Like, who here is over 40? Put your hands up. I'm 43. Okay, do you know how fast your fucking life goes? Do you even understand how fast your life goes? It's gone. Like, why would you ever be negative? Why would you ever complain? Why would you ever do things that you don't want to do? Like, I'll do things I don't want to do here and there, but largely, I try to focus on things that are fun, the things that I want to do. So I built my life in a way where I could travel, where I could do what I want to do, where I could be out, I could be in nature. I love being out in Montana, whitewater rafting, hiking in grizzly bear country. I like skiing in Jackson Hole. You know what I did during the pandemic? It was so funny. I just drove the whole country because I was bored. Yeah, I built a giant movie theater in my house so I could have movie night with all my friends. Then I built a giant gym in my house, like a full gym, so everybody could come over and use the gym. I did that while we're locked down, and then once lockdown ended, it's hard to get that gym equipment during lockdown, by the way, but I fucking got it. And then I just started driving around. I just traveled the whole country by car. I wanted to see the whole country. I traveled almost the whole country by car, went on nature excursions, things like that. Let me tell you, the most important thing in life is learning to truly live. Learn to truly live. Learn to truly live. What does it mean to truly live? It means to live in a way where you don't care what people think, and it's not about their approval. It's about you smiling and enjoying life and doing what you want to do. So what I would say is decide how much money, for me, once I'm in a 6-figure income a month, I don't know how else to spend the money. I know that I could go get a more expensive watch. I know that I could go get a yacht. I know that I could get, I live in a fat crib in the Hollywood Hills. I know I could get a bigger one, but at a certain point, what are you gonna really do with that money? That's my personal view. Like, what are you gonna really do with it? Like, do you even trust the currency enough at this point that you even wanna build around that? Do you even trust the modern system enough that you wanna dedicate your whole life to building it? They could lock us down at any point, anytime. They don't give a fuck. And all these idiots are dumb enough to let it happen. So it's one of these things where it's like, you've got to say to yourself, what kind of life do you want to build? Some of you guys, you want to just be like weird, angry people and make $1 billion. That's fine too. I'll help you to do it. A lot of my clients are like that. Many of my clients are billionaires. They pay me well and fund my lifestyle. I talk to them on the phone. I feel like they're being possessed by Satan, but I'll talk to them, right? So it's one of these things, and the funny thing is too, like a lot of my like really rich clients, they're like, well, how do I like build an organic following like you? But they're naturally like hyper negative and transactional by nature. They're very, very transactional. And I'm like, they're gonna sense that transactional vibe off you. People can feel that transactional vibe off you, okay? Do you wanna know how I came to these conclusions? And then I'm gonna go to your business. Here's how I came to it. When I would teach dating back when I was younger, I'm 43 now, I would teach that when I'm 22. Everybody would always want to have this like secret technique where you could still be this loser creep, but somehow women would like you. And I would read that on the internet and I would be like, okay, so I'm a creep, but I'm gonna make a technique and women will like me. And I tried it, it didn't work. And then what you later learned is that women can tell who you are. And if you're just a better person, they can feel that. And you know how they just say, be yourself? Well, that's like half true. You probably should be your best self, but like come into alignment with who you are. Put it out there, be yourself, don't hold it back, and that actually works better than a secret trick. So that's what I'm saying is like, if you want to do organic traffic, people, they're gonna see right through you. They're gonna see right, because you can't hide it when it's on you that much. So are you genuinely passionate? Do you genuinely care about your clients' results? Are you genuinely in it to help other people? Are you genuinely in it because you love what you do? Or if you don't love what you do and you just love the money, you can say that. I know some people that are great organic teachers that are like, I hate you. They actually say this. They're like, I don't like you. I only like money, but I'll show you how to do it. But you know what? At least it's real. I'd watch that. Like, say the guy's like, look, I think you're a fucking idiot. I don't like you. I'd never want to meet you, but I'm really rich. I'm frankly miserable, but I'll show you how to make more money. I'd watch it. If they just told the damn truth, I would watch that. But if somebody's like kind of smiling through this painted on fake smile, and they're like, hi everybody, like kind of looking like Hillary Clinton, like, hi everybody. I actually am not against Hillary, but she does have that's a problem she has in her vibe, right? So it's like, it's a problem that she has in her presentation. She's like, hi, like she's like, I hate all of you. But like, I don't even blame Hillary for that. She's probably had a very hard life. So I don't even blame her, but she should just be real. How much better would it be if Hillary was like, look, you fuckers, like, I've been traveling this fucking planet to help you idiots for years. You're super unappreciative. I'm one of the first women to do this. I fucking hate you. Now just give me the damn job, okay? You elect a reality star? What the fuck is wrong with you? Just give me the job, okay? I would have actually been receptive to that. So, why? Because it's real. So, you know, as opposed to like, hi, you know, he's like, hold a baby, like, ugh, you know, right? It's like I'd rather sacrifice this thing and drink its blood, but hi. That's a joke. But anyway, so, that's for the Republicans. Anyway, so, but it's like, no, it's a joke. But I'm just saying, like, it's like, if it's real, you know what I mean, right? Like, it's just, you gotta find something that people like, you know those guys on, say, Shark Tank, where they just like Mr. Wonderful, he's just like this kind of like miserable transactional businessman, he's just like, yeah, I just want to make my next billion, like, I'm the fucking man. It's actually very watchable. Like, you're like, I'll watch this guy because that's who he is. So for me, I like to have fun. That's who I am. You're gonna be you, whatever it is that you are. But Marcel is that same approach. Like Marcel loves inner game. He loves hypnosis. So you can feel that from him. So what I'd say to you is, talk with somebody beside you about what it is that you love about your business and who you are, and like what value are you really? Like, who are you and what value do you really have? For me, I actually grew up lightly autistic, no social skills at all, had to claw and fight to learn that, terrified of public speaking, terrified of communication, all that stuff. I hated it, and I fought to learn it. I'm kind of a nerd. I'm very nerdy. I like to go very, very deep on nerdy topics. And then kind of from years of being unhappy, I realized this is stupid. And now I became kind of what I'm showing you here is the best way that I could put it to you. So, because also like, for anybody here who's over 40, like you realize like there's like not that much time left, right? You guys get that?
Thanks.
No, people need to realize that shit. Like, stop waiting to have fun. Like, when does life start? Right? You see what I'm saying? You're resonating with this. I can see it. It's like, yeah, it's like, when does, like, you're 40, bro. When does life start? When's it start? When do we start having fun? Like, when's your life actually start? And for any of you in this room, I don't even care if you're 20, like, when's it start? Right? It's like, you're like, well, it starts like when you're married, or it starts like when you get six-pack abs, or it starts later when your business is, like, you're always gonna have problems in your business. I have problems in my business. There's always gonna be problems. There's always gonna be bullshit. You're always gonna want some other thing. You're always gonna want more. But when do you start actually living? By the way, other quick side point before we do this exercise. How many people here are from LA? Put your hand up from LA. So for you guys from LA, let me tell you something too. You guys will say, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a billionaire. You're fucking lying. Here's how I know, okay? Here's how I know you're fucking lying. You can't even resonate with being that successful. You can't even take in that much light. Here's why. You could get probably half the benefits of being a billionaire today all for free. You could go to Sequoia National Park and see the General Sherman, biggest tree by volume in the entire world. You could go to Yosemite Park, the people flying from all over the country. It's only 5 hours from here. You could be in Malibu, the beautiful coast. You could be driving the PCH up into Big Sur. You could be in Joshua Tree, like, you know, where they made that U2 album about. You could be at the Getty Museum that costs millions and millions, or I don't know what, billions, I don't know what the hell it is, a lot, whatever the hell it is, to create, or Griffith Observatory. But most of you in this room from LA have probably, not all of you, some of you have done it, but many of you have never even done that. What could you buy as a billionaire that would be better than going to Yosemite? That's actually true. Who has ever been to Yosemite Park? Put your hands up. A couple of you guys been? Would you guys agree that that's like a world-class place to go? Half Dome. Who has ever been to Sequoia National Park? Put your hands up. Would you guys agree that just being there at the top in that Sequoia Grove, biggest trees in the world, like what are you gonna buy with $1 billion that's better than seeing the biggest trees in the world? I mean, obviously that's a matter of personal taste, but I'm just making the point that like that is an example of something. But yet you don't go do that, and you could do that today for free. So even if you had $1 billion, do you want to know what you'd probably do? You'd probably continue in the same dysfunction that you have now. That's what you realize when you get rich. As I made more money, I'm just like, wow, I finally have all this money, and I'm completely dysfunctional. You see where I'm going with this? So you've got to begin to, I teach a lot of inner game. I go very deep on inner game, like, because the problem with my stuff is I really do teach people to get rich. Like we have a lot of guys that got rich. And so I teach all these guys to get rich and then they're completely fucked. A bunch of them start doing drugs, they implode. Like all these rich guys and rich girls that I taught how to make cash and then they wind up imploding. I've got a series of people that imploded as they actually got results. I got to see it because what happens is when the dysfunction is still there and then you get the money, it just amplifies whatever problems you have, and then you go off the fucking rails. So I've actually, you guys know, I mean, I live with Courtney Love, should be an example, right? So I basically spend a lot of time studying that as well, like the inner psychology, spiritual work, release work, trauma healing, inner game. We go very, very deep on all of that. We go very, very deep on social skills. We go very, very deep on how to make money, generating offers, upsells, all that. Like I know marketing top to bottom, but at its core, what I feel like I can serve you with best right now is just sorting you out internally as far as your authenticity. Like getting that authentic vibe so that when people see you, they're like, this is real. And let me tell you another thing too. Social media has opened up the playing field that anybody can get rich now. Anybody can get rich. But the thing is, it's also more competitive now. Does that make sense? It's more competitive because there's more options. So as more options begin to fill up, the fakers get weeded out quickly because the people that really live it, the cream rises to the top. And like, are you guys getting a sense more of what I say that I don't know a ton about sales copy, even though I've studied it, again, I probably studied Dan Kennedy for many hundred hours. Like I've studied this stuff, I know sales copy. But do you see how what I'm saying that I was able to build this without a ton of formal sales training? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Because imagine that you're seeing me and you're watching me for like say a couple years, right? And you're seeing example after example after example of transformation, of people making money, people getting better social skills, people being happier, people releasing trauma. Imagine that you're just seeing this over a period of time. And then I'm like, look, I'll help you. I'll hold you accountable. I'll take you through a course. I'll hold your hand. I'll make sure that you get the result. Well, what do you think is going to be better marketing? A cold traffic ad or a several-year indoctrination of seeing what it is that you teach? What do you think? You can't compare it, guys. There's no comparison, okay? There's no comparison. And so with things like cold traffic, you have to have very, very dialed in marketing where everything from your hook to establishment of authority to the story that you tell to the features and benefits to the framing of the deal to the risk reversal, all that different stuff, that has to be 1,000,000% dialed in when people don't know you. It has to be the creme de la creme de la creme de la creme, okay? Now, you still want to have that stuff, and I still teach that. I teach that to everybody, but it only needs to be, when you have enough clout with the person who's watching you, you really only need to be at like a 3 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. Like my buddies that do hardcore cold traffic are probably 10 times more dialed in than I am, but with my audience, I don't need to do that, if that makes any sense. Like I could just be like my version of marketing at this point with my audience is like, yo, I have this thing. Click the link. Because they know you. That's organic traffic. They know you. They see what you've done. They see the results. So you're like, here's the results. If you want this, click it today or you're fucked. Like your life is fucked if you don't click this. So that's kind of my life, right? And then by doing this, because I'm genuinely passionate about what I do and I love it, I'm always doing something that I like to do anyway. And then I'm sharing that journey. And then I'm not having to be very transactional or too deeply in my head. So that's kind of what I'm showing you. So let's go deep on this. So talk to the person beside you or in a small group about what you genuinely like to do. What are you genuinely passionate about? Now remember, making money is always this. It is what you love so that you're good at it combined with what will make cash. Because you can't just be like, I like to throw a rock at a lake. Like, I mean, maybe there's some way to make cash with that. I mean, Power Slap's coming out. You can make money off slapping somebody in the face. There's like a sport where you smack someone in the face. Like actually, I think Dana White's like supporting or something. But you know, so maybe you could make the next like power slap. But usually you need something that there's a proven ability to make money in it. So what do you do now that makes money? And what do you do now that you love to do? And how could you, and here's the word, curate that. Just repeat the word curate. So how could you curate that? How could you actually start putting out content that, and by the way, it's not about you, okay? It's not like, well, my content is everyone should buy from me. Everyone should give me money, okay? That's not your, okay, a lot of my clients, they think this. They're like, well, yeah, because you guys know Gary Vaynerchuk? One of the books that he put out was called Jab, Jab, Right Hook, because these stupid ass CEOs that he did, because he deals with like big time CEOs, they're like Gary would show them how to build a real social media following, and then they're like, well, where's the money? Like, you know, with TV advertising, we just put it out, we immediately get money from it. They can't understand, people that are very transactional can't understand what it means to build a real social media following, okay? These guys that do this, they're like bug-eyed. A lot of these CEOs are bug-eyed. They're like the bug men. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're like the bug men. Like it's these like dead to life, hollowed out husks that literally their whole life is just like boring as fuck. And then they just make billions of dollars, but they hate their clients. They hate their product. Like imagine that you run a McDonald's and you know that you're poisoning everybody. Do you know what that, like those guys are gonna burn in hell. Those guys are going right to hell. Like the second they die, vroom, down a vortex of flames, like you murdered 100 million people. And it's like, but we got up our stocks. And they're like, spike them up for eternity. Like these guys are gonna burn in hell. So look at them. Look in their face. It's the bug eyes. You guys ever seen like Elizabeth Holmes, that girl from Theranos? The bug eyes? You know what I'm talking about? The bug eyes, right? Can anybody here name a certain big tech head that has the same bug eyes? I'm not gonna say because he's monitoring me, he's such a creep. You know the same bug eyes, right? Who is it that looks just like Elizabeth Holmes? You can't miss it. You gotta know this. You gotta know the bug eyes. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah, but you know those bug eyes, right? You can see it. It's that, these beady little eyes of a creepy little creep who just literally is like, I am the controller, I'm power hungry, right? There's no real joy. There's no real happiness, right? It's just control, 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 money, money, money. No, like rather, what I teach people is not to be a billionaire. I never made $1 billion, so I can't teach you to be a billionaire. I have clients that are billionaires, but I can't reliably replicate that because I don't care to. If I could get it for free, I'd take it, but I don't care to. But what I can show you is how I did over 100 million in sales. I can show you how to be a multimillionaire, but the way that I do it is about lifestyle and having fun and doing something you love and having like a family, okay? So everywhere that I go, because I do organic traffic, people come up to me, they just give me stuff. I'm not even bullshitting you. Like, I have fans in here that could tell you about this. Like literally, I will be on a date and guys will walk up to me and they start shaking and they just empty their wallet out. They start crying. They show up, they start crying and twitching, and they're just like, I just always want to give you back to you. I just need to get back to you. And they hand me all their money, and the girl's like, who the fuck are you? It happens every day. Every day, right? I've got buddies that run big companies that give me free stuff. You know, I get stuff in the mail all the time. If I want to get into a club, I go by the line and I just talk loud. I'll be like, hey, so nice day tonight. So somebody recognizes my voice. And 9 times out of 10, someone's in the line that's getting like a $10,000 table. They're like, Owen, come onto my table. You hop in the table. If I need a ride, I'll walk on the street. I'm like, hey, and I just start talking loud. And people will be like, Owen. I'm like, hey, can I get a ride? And I can skip the Uber. This is my lifestyle. Yeah, big tech heads, got like big famous entrepreneurs have followed my stuff, and they'll just come and they're like, hey, let me fly you out. Let me take you to these islands. Let me introduce you to Paul. I've sat there with top politicians, that's how I got a lot of these clients. So what winds up happening, and women follow my stuff a little too, so, you know. So I'll leave that to your mind. So the point being is like, there's a lot of perks, is what I'm saying, to doing organic traffic. Like, okay, for example, when I was doing parties, my old roommate was a guy named Big Mike. Big Mike runs Advanced Nutrients. Advanced Nutrients, I think when I was living with him, we split a mansion. It was like an $80,000 a month mansion. We split. I pay 40, he paid 40. And I think he was making about 70 million a year in revenue. It's like the top marijuana. I don't even smoke weed. I've never smoked weed in my life. I've never been high in my life. But I like the natural highs, you can probably tell. But like, I basically would, I think his business now does about 300 million a year in revenue, but at the time it did like 70. So he would do $1 million parties. You can look this up, Advanced Nutrients. And he would do this every year. But me and him split the crib. So as a result of that, I get to basically do $1 million party. Like we would set it up, there'd be like shrimp, steak, like grass-fed steak shrimp. Like we'd have like big giant kegs of this stuff. Like the whole house was filled up with it. They would like set it up. We were competing with the Playboy Mansion for best party in LA when Hugh Hefner was still alive. So I think he was still alive, or maybe it was the tail end, whatever it was. But anyway, so point is, like, that's living. You see what I'm saying here? That's living. Like $1 million party. That's fucking fun. But you want to know something else? I also do ratchet parties. And those are also quite fun. You know, those are also fun. Everything's fun. Everything you can make fun, okay? So I'm trying to give you a different perspective here of realizing life is very, very short, okay? Life is incredibly short. Life is gonna blow by very, very, very quickly. You are most likely, unless you have a major intervention, gonna have a very boring life. Your life will be uneventful, it will be boring, it will be repetitive. This is why most people smoke a ton of weed. They smoke weed and watch TV because they are bored. I am also bored, but I admit that I am bored and then I go do something about it, okay? I believe that boredom is meant to propel you to go do something fun. So what I would challenge you to do is never complain unless it's constructive. Then it's fine. Constructive complaint is fine. Don't complain. Don't be negative. Don't shit talk. I never shit talk anybody. I don't talk bad on people, except you know who. I don't, the bug-eyed, but that's to demonstrate. I'm not gonna sit there shit talking anybody. I don't complain. I don't triangulate people. I don't have like a group of 3 friends and I talk bad about the other friend when they're gone, okay? I just like, basically what I like to do, here's my focus. I'm either we joke until we cry. We joke, now do you guys see why Marcel likes to kick it with me? We joke until we cry, okay, and sober. We joke until we cry, we travel, we make meals, we do parties, we go to nature, and we have fun, okay? That's called rich. I got 3 kids, I bring them for the journey. That's called rich, that's real wealth. Can you do that as a corporate-minded person? For sure you can, but you probably won't. I've never really seen it, to be honest with you. So that's real wealth. Now, that's confrontational. Many of you cannot even handle that. Many of you cannot even resonate with that. You're not ready to. It's too much light. People will think they want that, they get around it, it exhausts them because they're addicted to their misery. So it's also like you've got to pull the needle of misery out of your arm. You've got to pull it out of your arm. You're addicted to pain, and you've got to pull that out of your arm, and you got to say, I'm done. I'm done being unhappy. I'm going to be happy now. And then what you do is you use that time that you have to reclaim resources. Reclaim resources. So in other words, if you're somebody who's lonely, don't complain about it. Learn how to go socialize, go out to bars and clubs, and go talk to people. Like I literally coach that. I don't even coach it anymore. I literally coached that for many years when I was younger. Just guys that are lonely, I'm like, shut the fuck up, stop being lonely, we're going out and we're gonna go talk to people. Just shut the fuck up, we're just gonna go talk to people. Shut the fuck up. Why? What is that called? Solutions oriented. You're finding a solution, okay? If you're unhealthy, read health books. I've been sick in 10 years, by the way. I never got COVID. I never even been vaccinated. Never got COVID. I'm not anti-vaxxer either. I just don't have a reason to. I never got COVID. I never will get COVID, I don't think. I don't get common cold. I don't get sick. It just doesn't happen. I also don't get bit by bugs.
I don't either.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's called being positive. Yeah, and so that's the bottom line is that when you're positive, negative shit just bounces off you. It doesn't resonate with you. So, look, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just sharing my experience. So, anybody around you who likes to complain or likes to be poor, because remember, poverty is a choice, okay? If you're poor, it's because you like it, because you're an addict. You're a poverty addict. So anybody, because you can fix being poor within about 18 months. So if somebody is poor, if somebody is negative, and if somebody can't take that much light, create boundaries. Help them, but help them in the form of charity, but don't have them in your ecosystem infecting you. Get around it, like look at me and Marcel, right? Why are me and Marcel buddies? Because we're either clowning around, deciding the next adventure, or making cash. That's our mindset. So this path is about actually having real wealth. is what I'm trying to hammer you with here. I'm trying to broaden your perspective on what you would have learned this weekend. I want you to think about what real wealth looks like. Now, real wealth for me will be different from real wealth for you. You could be a mother, and it's about raising your children. The mother of my kids is amazing. I really lucked out by accidentally impregnating her. Yeah. Oh, by the way, my son Tristan's even crazier than me. Literally, my son, because I've never yelled at him, I've never been sick in front of my kids, I've never been broke in front of my kids, I've never showed any lack of confidence in front of my kids, I've never yelled at my kids, I've never hit my kids, I've never mistreated my kids, and I've never disciplined my kids. And I give them any amount of money they want. That's the rule. Any toy you want, anything you want, you get everything that you want. Take a guess what happens when we're at the toy store and I say, get everything you want. What do you think they do?
Get everything.
They want one toy at most. Often none. I say, you can skip school whatever you want. Guess how much they skip school? Never. Why do you think that is? I'm like, I'll never discipline you, I'll never do anything. How often do you think they act bad? Never. The most my kids will ever do is like slightly pull each other's hair or something, and then what I do for punishment is I'll just bring him in his room and I'll just stare at him. I'll tell him I love him. I'm like, I love you. Why you pull your brother's hair? And I'll just stare at him. He thinks that's punishment. Imagine that's your punishment. He's like, I'm in trouble, aren't I? I'm like, yeah, you're in trouble. I'm staring at you. Right? Imagine that's how your parents did. Why do you think my kids don't act? And my kids are like top of their class in gifted schools. And I take them out of school half the year, and the school hates me. Okay? They're out of school half the year. Top grades in their school. My 11-year-old could run this whole seminar. You can look this up on my Instagram. I'm not bullshitting. Why do you think it's like that?
You're modeling good behavior. You're modeling behavior.
Modeling good behavior. What else?
Giving them autonomy over their...
Because all this bullshit is the fucking poison the parents put in them.
Yeah.
The parents are poisoning the kids. The parents are carrying look, I'm not saying this will work for everybody. I don't know. I got a 3-kid sample size. I'm not giving a conclusion for everybody. Maybe your kid's a little psycho. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're not poisoning the kid and you're not poisoning yourself, what can you accomplish? How much of your day do you really spend in this, like, if you're gonna get down to work and making cash, how much of your day do you actually spend really banking it? You're looking at social, you're thinking about shit that pissed you off, you're ruminating in your mind about shit that went wrong. How much are you actually focused? Like for me, I do meditation, right? So if I need to work, I can wake up and I can focus on what I'm doing until I go to bed, and I could do that for like 2 months if I need to. Why am I doing that? Because I know it's leading to an outcome of more positive things later, but I'm not gonna be addicted to that for the rest of my life. There's a point to it. So why is it that most people can't even focus? Because their mind is poisoned. How many of you here meditate? Great, isn't that amazing how that spread? I used to teach that back in like 2006, most people didn't do it. And you guys read like Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now? Yes. Great book, good starting point of that. So it's like this, if you're gonna make money, then shut the fuck up and make money. Like, don't look at some dumb shit. Get a mentor, learn what they're teaching, and go deep on what it is that they're teaching. Anybody who works with me, many of you guys are my clients, you know I'm gonna ask you to work. I'm gonna put you through hell. Because we gotta get it done. Focus, get it done, make the cash, next thing. So what I'm gonna get you to do is 2 things right now in your group. I want you to talk about what you can authentically put out there to your audience, okay? What can you authentically put out there to your audience? And then what I want to do is I want you to talk about what is real wealth to you. So I gave an example of what is real wealth to me. You can be different. You have your own version of real wealth. I don't care what that is, but I want you to achieve it. So a lot of this stuff is scary because a lot of the time when you're at an event like this, you talk about making money, the money's very hypothetical. It's very ephemeral, it's very dreamlike. Like, I want more money. But what is the point of that money? Right? So I want to, like, in my mind, I know what I will do with money. I know what the point of it is. Like, for example, I haven't been sick in a long time. I like to take very expensive herbs. Like, I'll take a $1,300 a month ginseng. It's like very old ginseng, okay? Or I take reishi mushroom. I actually go into the forest, I pick reishi mushroom with my friend Shane. Or we pick chaga. Anybody here ever see the video I put out about that? Yeah, there's like videos of me like riding around the forest, like chopping down chaga mushroom off the trees. So, like, I like high-end Eastern herbs. I like to do a lot of like biohacking type stuff. Probably helps me stay healthy. I like to just ski the whole winter. Right? Do you want to be able to ski the whole winter? Do you want to be able to go on island, like who here's ever been to Nepali Coast and Kauai? What? Awesome, Nepali Coast and Kauai. Probably the most beautiful place I've ever seen. You have to get a permit. I'd go without the permit because I'm stupid, but you're supposed to get a permit, just to warn you. And what you do is you hike in 11 miles up and down cliffs, okay? Up and down these giant, green, lush cliffs that look like King Kong, like the movie King Kong. I think that's where they shot it. And you're hiking in there, and you go camping. There's no cell phone. You're camping in Kauai, which is one of the oldest Hawaiian islands, like a jungle island. And I'll just go spend a week in there. You know, I remember back in the day when Argentina got really cheap, I just went to live in Argentina for a while. I lived in Hawaii for a while. I live in the Hollywood Hills now. What is wealth to you? What would you do with the money? What'd be the point? What's the purpose of it? You know, I want my kids to be millionaires by about 15. I expect that. I want to see Dylan crack $1 million a year by 15. $1 million is not a lot of money. You know, it's about, what, $800K a month after tax or so. Whatever the math is on that, right? So I want to see him do that. Why can he do that? Internet. It's called the internet. He could do it. But do I want my child to be miserable? No. I want him to enjoy. His life is very short. I think he should enjoy his life. By the way, I'm also involved in a lot of social causes. I care. I hate injustice. So I fight for that. I even put myself at great risk for that. I work with incredible people. I help them with their social media, actually, and I help them with their content creation and curating what it is they do. So it's also about purpose. I also care about waking people up and waking them up out of the fucking trance. The fucking trance that you're in. Connecting spiritually. So this is wealth for me. Contribution, good causes, adding value, who you become as a human being, enjoying life, joking around, being serious and locking in when it's time to be serious and lock in, but having fun when it's time to have fun, and not making addiction and negativity an excuse. And most of what you see in society is crack addicts. It's a bunch of there's no different from a crack addict on the street and a multimillionaire who's addicted to being unhappy. Zero difference at all. One lives in a cardboard box, another lives in a big cardboard box, but it's still a crackhead. And it's a crackhead fundamentally because they're still addicted and their will has been subsumed. What does it mean to have access to your will? What does it mean to have access to a transcendent state without alcohol or drugs or any external reinforcements? What does it mean to have real discernment? When you're addicted like a crackhead, you don't even have real discernment. You can't even absorb anything beyond a narrow bandwidth of what feeds into your frame and addictions. So what does it mean to have an expanded mind? So these are deep, deep rabbit holes that we could spend days on. Many of you work with me. We go very deep on this stuff. But again, so let's go to our exercise now. What is real wealth to you? And what do you have now in your business that you could curate? So if I'm going to go build something, I know why I'm doing it. There's a point. So because of that, it's a balance between very, very hard work, okay? Like when we do product launches, we might be in the house 15, 16 hours a day, work day, 2-3 months straight, bam, launch it, bam, bring in a couple $1 million. Then, made the money, well now what are we gonna go do? Now we wanna go do something fun. So I want you thinking like that. What do you have to really genuinely offer to an audience? How could you begin to curate that and make video content out of it? And then what would you do? And the thing is that when you go have fun, you can video record that. And then that becomes a part of the lifestyle, showing yourself doing cool shit. And now that becomes very, very watchable. But it's not just about showing off. It's about discussing topics that benefits the end user while you're doing it. So, you know, if I show myself having a giant party and show a video of myself at a party that I'm doing or my friend's doing or whatever, I don't just want to be like, ha ha, here's the party video, y'all suck. It's more like, hey, what's up? It's Owen. You know, I'm out here right now. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. By the way, I want to talk to you about how to make more money so you can come do a party like this. So it's about it's a fusion between showing your life and you doing cool shit, but then at the same time, making it about the end user. Like you could watch Gary Vaynerchuk, he's showing himself, you know, he's an example, he's very different from me, but he's going from thing to thing to thing, he's into that, but then he's also talking about how you can make cash. That'd be an example for wealth building. So for each of you here, you have your own unique area that you have a business, right? And if you want to make organic traffic for that business, what does it do? It allows the people who watch you to become familiarized with who you are. And then you wind up becoming a micro celebrity. Anybody here have like a YouTube channel that maybe you binge watch? You know, like you're going to bed and you're like leaving it running. Maybe, and it's probably related to whatever area that you're working on or interested in. So when you create things like that, you now have a tangible asset. But the thing is, you've got to come into alignment with yourself. Otherwise, you're just the next taker, okay? You're just the next taker. So you've got to get into alignment that you really enjoy what you do. Or if you hate what you do, then be honest about that. But it's got to be authentic and watchable. And then people feel that, and then they want to be a part of it, okay? So again, I learned this from dating, because back in the day when I would teach dating, what I found was there was two types of guys as far as dating, okay? The successful and the unsuccessful. Guys that were successful genuinely enjoy their life and like who they are, and they're having fun and talking to women when they're out. And then they could take it or leave it because their life is fun. Guys that feel unhappy in themselves and they believe that if a woman would have sex with them, that they would get relief from their misery. And that's like a black hole. And it wouldn't matter what you'd show them. You could show them everything. Doesn't matter what you show them. Until you fix the core of who they are, they're still a creeper. And you could show them every tactic in the book. It doesn't matter because you can't fix creepy. So, okay, I mean, you can fix it, but it's like a fundamental core shift. You can't paint over it, right? So in the same way with your business, like if you're just a miserable son of a bitch, again, you could be like Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, like I'm a miserable son of a bitch, I just like money, you know, and you could make it funny, but you've got to somehow find a way that you're showing who you are in a way that someone wants to watch. Someone has to give a fuck. Like, think about how valuable your time is. Are you just gonna watch any idiot? You're just gonna watch any idiot? Like, imagine you're a woman, all the guys that are coming at you. So what, you're gonna go on a date with any loser guy who hates himself, hates his life, and wants to use you for relief as some kind of service provider? Like, are you gonna go even near that? Now, for the women in this audience, how much can you sense when a man is coming from that position?
Immediately.
Speak up for the group.
Immediately.
Any other women want to share? Let yourself be heard. Don't just nod.
I'm done dating.
What's that?
I said, I'm done dating.
Well, how about back? Can you remember?
Back, I was married too long, so.
Well, good for you.
No.
Yeah.
No place, man.
All right. So, any other women in this audience, how quickly can you tell when a guy doesn't love himself and doesn't even, and thinks that you can fill a hole for him?
Immediately.
Share with the group.
Like.
Talk to the group so they can hear what it feels like. Stand up. Talk to the group. Tell them what it feels like as a woman when a guy who clearly he's either has liquid, like, because this is what guys do too. They're fucking miserable, so they get drunk as a way to hide their misery. So how quickly can you tell when a guy doesn't love himself and thinks that you're going to fill that hole for him?
You can sense that in comments, in the way he looks, or, oh, sorry, oh yeah, this is not like their insecurities. You can tell them in a lot of different ways. I thought that was, I'm sorry about this, but I thought that was related to their masculine confidence. Yeah.
They got a small dick.
Yes, I thought that maybe had to.
But I have a small dick. It's like a little wet carrot. But I just power, no, okay, so let's keep going. Yeah.
But
You gotta be, right? When you
I
have,
don't know if it's related or not.
no, it's not because they have a small dick. It's because, no, it's because, I love that's what you came to. But I mean, it could be. But it's literally just that they're living life thinking that someday when they get six-pack abs, someday when they get money, someday when they get this, someday when they get that, someday when they get the girl, someday when they get this thing, then they'll be happy. And then they want you to come in and fill that for them, but they haven't put in the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. He said.
Thank you. Give her a hand for that, too. And by the way, she has an amazing social media following, guys. There's celebrities in this room right now. So the thing, you can get that energy from her, right? You can feel she has great energy. So what I'm saying is, like, people feel it. You can't hide it. You got to fix the issue, okay? So you've got to be honest with yourself about the play. If you're going to really put yourself out there and allow people to get to know you and like you and trust you, you've got to be in alignment. How many of you guys here already follow my stuff? It's a small amount because of my friend's crowd. Put your hands up high if you already follow my stuff. For those of you guys that follow my stuff, if you don't mind, if you could share, for the people who don't understand fully what I'm saying, for you as an audience viewer, what would you share about your experience of watching my stuff and the relatability and how that allowed you to get to know me, for people in here who don't know a lot about organic traffic and are new to this and what they may not understand? Anybody want to share, like, kind of fill in the gaps? That's kind of an abstract question, clear. Okay, like, you watch my stuff. Compare knowing me to a random person who you don't know. So stand up. What would you explain to the group about how me, like, how much of my content have you consumed?
Well, after every breakup.
Yeah.
For like a couple months.
Yeah.
And then I get good again.
Okay.
And then I kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, so on and off,
Yes.
you consume a lot of my content.
Yes.
So do you know me?
Yeah.
Do you know a lot about me?
Yeah. I feel like you're a friend, even though I've only probably seen you in person like 3 or 4 times.
I'm your friend.
We're friends.
Yeah. Woo! So explain to the group, like, how does it make it easier to buy when you know me? Explain that to the group, because they're here for business.
100. Okay, like the way I
Explain to the whole group.
Okay, the way I put it is, it's like he's so genuine and he talks about his journey of where he came from.
Talk to the group.
And like, you know, we all have like our own insecurities. So by him saying like, oh, I was even worse than you, but look at me now, it makes you feel this huge sense of trust, I guess. And then I've also been like around him at his houses, and it's like he's a baller. And he does really well with women, and he's got the most fucking confidence of like any man I've ever met. And so it's just like, I don't know, it's like, so when he says something's good, you should do something, it just sounds like, yeah, fuck, of course.
That's a great point too, because what I've done is I give you advice, you go do it, it works, and then I say, try this thing, and then you're open-minded to it, because the previous thing that I said, so you guys learned a bit about hypnosis, right? You know, pacing and leading. If you give good ideas to people again and again and again and again, and you add value, that shows them that, say you say, let's do some business together, they have a track record of all the good things, okay? Have a seat and thank you. Yeah. It's like, say with dating, thank you, bro. Say with dating, if you're talking to somebody, right? And you're like, say you walk up to somebody like, hey, what's up? Yo, we should like go out. That's gonna fail in most cases. But let's say that you talk and, you know, you keep your hands to yourself, you're just making some jokes, kidding around, right? Now what you said is funny and engaging. Then you say, you know, I've got some friends over here, they're really cool. Do you wanna come meet them? Now they come meet your friends are cool. Then you say, you know, there's a cool after hour spot here, let's go over there. Now that was fun. Then you say there's a good place to go eat. And at any point they can leave, 100%. And you make that, by your energy, they feel that. Okay, that was good. You know what? We're gonna do an after party in my crib. That was good. So every step of the way, you're providing a positive experience that they can walk away from anytime they want. And there's many, many other people that you're talking to, and they see that, so they know that you don't need anything. They know that you don't need anything from them. So they can leave it, I mean, of course they can leave it, that goes without saying, but I'm just emphasizing it, right? They can bounce anytime. Clearly in your energy, you're not needy. Clearly in your energy, you're having fun, you don't need them. And everything that they go along with that you do that's very no pressure at all is fun. And it's always good. And now there's a track record of it being good. Well, later, if you invite somebody out and 15 things that you did were positive, they're more open to come hang out. And that's what leads you into a situation of abundance of social connections. So it's understanding the underlying structure. You know me and trust to do business with me because you've seen my kids, you've seen my life, you've seen me. I'm an open book and I'm showing results. You've tried what I do, it works, you're getting results. Well, then if you want the big result, join mentoring. If you want the big result, let me take you out. You do that, maybe you go out and get a great result, and I say, cool, well, we went from here to here, now maybe we go from here to here. Come work with me again, and then you go from there. And so, because by the way, the best way to keep clients long term is to get results, get them amazing results, and it's actually cheaper to keep existing clients than to generate new leads. So it's not, oh, it didn't work, you got to do it again. You know, say that I'm showing you how to make money and you go from making 0 to 10K a month. I'm like, cool, we got there. Want to keep going? Okay, let's keep going. So you're building in the result with people, right? Whatever the case is, you keep adding value. Now, let's say, for example, that you run, I don't know, like I used to go to, for example, I don't know, different health places or things like that, right? And you want to know the main reason why I stopped doing business with them? Because I forget. There's so many great trainers that I've had and places that I've done business with that I stopped going to, not because they sucked, but because I'm busy and I forgot. You want to know why I forget? What do you think? Why do you think that is?
It wasn't memorable.
Because, no, it was amazing. So why did I forget? Because there's not ongoing social media touch points. I forget they exist. There's not enough touch points. So, because of that, I'm being bombarded with other people's touch points, and then my attention gets diverted. Okay? So, part of having a business is you want to be able to speak directly to your clients. You want to be able to have direct contact with them. And you don't need to please everybody. Imagine the way that I talk. This is not for everybody, I promise you. There's a very big segment of people that hate what I do. Hate it. They despise it. They can't stand it. What do you think? You think you just post a bunch of videos with you having fun, making money, having fun? Everyone's like, yay for you. It's infuriating. So it's one of these things where not everybody has to like what you do. But what you want to do is you want to be fully yourself, because then some people will love you. So you have to allow, like if you're somebody in this room right now that's like, I just don't get this guy, that's what I want. You're the guy who never would have bought anything from me. You're the guy that never would have watched me. You're the guy or girl who would have left here and will never look up my videos. If I tone myself down, like it's still me, but I tone myself down to not offend you, if you don't like the crux of what I'm saying, nothing I'm gonna say is gonna make you like it. But if I'm fully myself and I don't hold back, there's gonna be a percentage of this room that's like, yo, this shit's sick. I gotta go watch more of it. I wanna learn more. So that's who I'm looking for, okay? I teach this in dating. I tell guys, don't dumb yourself down. Don't make yourself generic. Be fully yourself. Because it's okay, like, look, like I'm a balding, pasty, white boy with a gray beard. You think I go out to a club, every girl likes me? Hell no. Like, they're like, how is this guy even this cocky? Like, he's got a pot belly, he's balding, he's not that tall, he's kind of crazy. Like, this guy's an idiot. Like, many women think I'm a complete idiot. But if I go out and I talk to everybody, there's gonna be, in say a nightclub, 5 or 10 women in that club that are like, this is the funniest guy I've ever seen. I wanna hang out with this guy, he's hilarious. They're not even necessarily attracted to me, but they just think I'm fun, they wanna kind of come to kick it. And then we hang out more, and then they're like, wait a minute, my friends like him. Wait a minute, this guy's cooler than my boyfriend. Wait a minute, My boyfriend's jealous of me and this guy doesn't care. Wait a minute, my life would be fun hanging out with him. And then you grow on people. And so, and notice that they'll hang out because I'm not needy. I'm not expecting anything. So because of that, I get a lot of exposure and touch points, right? And so as a result of that, people come around. And when you'll be fully yourself, that's when people really, really, really come around. And that's how you get raving fans. So you're not looking for, is your focus, how do I make it where people don't hate me? Well, what you focus on, you manifest. So if you're like, I don't want people to hate me, 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 what's gonna happen? Everyone thinks you suck because you're holding yourself back. You want to punch through the wall. Say that after me, punch through the wall. Punch through the wall. So no filter at all, punch through the wall, be yourself, put it out there. Now, there's a balance between authenticity and relatability to an extent. You know, if you just run around in a garbage bag covered in feces, there is a point where you're not going to do business. So it is a balance, okay? It's a balance. But if you sacrifice the core of who you are, you can't punch through the wall. So what do you care more about? Making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, or that some idiot that you never met doesn't like you, but never would have liked you? What do you care about more? So you've got to you have to pick. You don't get both, okay? You don't get both. You don't get to go out to a bar and be this like toned down person like, hi, 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 hi. And everyone's like, hi, hi. Okay, so nobody disliked you, but nobody loves you. So what are you actually looking for? Like me, I'm looking for people that really, really like what it is that I do. And then I'm looking to get around amazing high-level people as a network, and then as that network, other people want to be part of that. I don't care if somebody doesn't resonate with what I do. I wish them the best. I don't think bad of them, but that's not my tribe. So part of being a leader is you don't give a fuck. If you're focused on what other people think of you, you will fail. Focus instead on your end client, the buyer, the end user, the person that paid you, the person that invested in you. If you're putting out content and someone hated on you, every second that you spend thinking about that person that hated on you, you could have been adding value to your product. Every last second that you spend self-absorbed in your little ego, you could have been making a better product. Our product was so strong that we ran about 85% of the niche. I inadvertently, not even wanting to, bankrupted almost every other company in the niche. They just gave up. They just gave up. The people who know the history are just nodding. They're like, that was crazy. They gave up. They'd come to me, they'd be like, I give up. Like, I just send my clients to you now. I'm doing something else. I give up. I would call them and help them. I tell them everything I'm doing. I'm like, I want a bigger niche. I want to expand the niche. But they packed in and went home because they cannot compete, even with me coaching them for free, because they don't listen. So when you operate from this kind of a space, it is very, very hard for competitors to even have any oxygen at all, because you're the best. You're the best. We were the best in our old niche. We were just the best. Nothing even close. Nothing even fucking close. So do I need like a lot of cold traffic? Do I need a lot of sales copy? No, not at all. Because people are watching what we're doing, and then what they do is as they watch it and watch and watch and watch it, they're like, this is the best. And as a result of that, they want to buy. So that was the way that I built this. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to be that. So step one is your organic content. What are you going to start creating? What are you going to start shooting? What are you going to start building? Not just for you, but to show other people what you're about. The journey of it. Make it like a show. Show the journey. Show what failed. Show what didn't work. Show what you tried and didn't work. Show yourself upset. Show your frustration. Show your wins. Show your losses. Anybody who's comfortable being in the videos with you, bring them in. That way people know who you are. That way people trust you. Talk about your values. Now, by the way, what's going to happen, sometimes on your journeys you get more exposure, there's actually constructive criticism. People will be like, yo, you just talked about your values. They're kind of fucked up. And that's actually okay. I've had critical feedback my whole career. Some of it's really good. Believe it or not, the quote haters, they do two really good things for you. One is they make you numb, which is great. They make you completely oblivious because it's like a hormetic conditioning or something. But the other thing is that they also sometimes give you good advice. They're like, yo, the way you're doing it here, the way that you're doing it there, it's not good, it's not working. So you can actually absorb, you don't need to be arrogant, like I just do whatever I want. You know, you can actually absorb the feedback. So now your product keeps getting better. When we do live events, we often have extensive feedback forms. And we would take piles of feedback. I did that for about 15 years, wanting the feedback. I'm like, how's the program? They're like, perfect. I'm like, no, tell me something I could improve. So you want to be always researching and making it better all the time. So feedback is a good thing. So it's an ongoing dialogue with your audience. It's an ongoing dialogue and getting their experience. Then what you do is you can create tribes. We would create groups in every city, all around major cities in the world, and we would send ambassadors to come and do free events in those cities. I've run free events anywhere you can think of, completely free. Events like this, all free. Why? Brings together community, brings together tribes, gets people into what it is that you're doing, gets them getting results, and then you have premium programs where then you're gonna take them, you're gonna hold their hand, get them executing, hold them accountable, jam the info down their throat, get them the result fast. So that to me is how we utilize organic traffic very, very, very effectively. Things like thumbnails, things like SEO, all great stuff. But at the end of the day, if your stuff sucks, it sucks. If it's good, it's good. So people are looking for a trick to get out of making their stuff good. If you love what you do, or like I said, hate it, but just want to joke about that, but if you have an energy of any kind behind what you do, and you put it out there, people see that over time, and they want to learn. By the way, you wouldn't even have to be an expert. You could, like for example, I could do a bodybuilding channel. How? I'm fat. I'm now starting bodybuilding. Here's my journey. People watch that, it's real, and then I say, bring in my buddy Greg O'Gallagher, bring in my buddy Brandon Carter, bring in my buddy Elliot Hulse, bring in my buddy Frank Yang. They're gonna sell you stuff. So you could have the audience there, and then you could sell other people's stuff. So you don't even have to be an expert. You could also be somebody who makes recommendations. You can be the iron cage who protects your audience from bullshit. There's so many different ways that you can engage in the conversation online socially. And the problem is that, like, I remember we were doing DVD sets, okay? We would do DVDs back in the day. And back in the day, I spent about $100,000 to get a production company to come in and record a DVD for us. I'm like a kid at this point. It was terrifying. I'd literally like have to come up with like 100 G's, record the damn products, write the sales. I'd probably spend about 3-4 years working on the product itself. Not even kidding, by the way. 3-4 years, sometimes 5-6. Great products. Anybody here ever see the Blueprint Decoded? Put your hands up if you ever seen Blueprint Decoded. That was like 5 fucking years to make that thing. That was 100 G's to record that. Probably another 100 G's in production. There was an old DVD place called Corporate Disc in Chicago. You print the DVDs, you put up your sales ad, and you would pray your ass off that you could break even on this fucking thing. That product, I did it, I made $2 million off it. I was 26, I made $2 million. I worked on that thing like a fucking slave for years. Great product, but I love it, it's real. And as I built that product, what was I doing? I had a blog. This was back in the day, like Blogspot, right? I had a blog. I was talking about what I was building, talking about what it was that I was learning. I had an evolving philosophy. People were on the journey with me as I built it. So as I built that damn thing, and people are curious about it, they're like, well, I want to see what you're building. It'd be like if a video game developer is showing you the journey of building this amazing game, and you've been seeing little tidbits of it. It's informative and it's fun, and you like the personalities. Well, then when they launch the game, you want to play the damn game. You do a product launch, $2 million, boom, and then that thing sold for years. So that is really engaging in the conversation. It's kind of a scary thing, right? Because it's like in some ways inspiring and uplifting, but does anybody here feel scared because you'd have to actually be authentic? You'd have to actually add value? You'd have to actually be real? You'd have to actually love what you do? You see what I'm saying? It can be intimidating. But how do you compete with somebody doing that? It's very hard. How can a company compete with that? It's just very, very hard. So that's how you become an industry leader in what it is that you do, okay? We did dating, we do self-help now. We did dating for years. Crushed that industry. Just crushed it. Because I think everybody else was just focused on the wrong stuff. And there's really no oxygen left in the room when somebody is adding that we've been talking about here. You're just taking all the oxygen. How do you compete with that? Like, how? It's so, I mean, imagine you're trying to give dating advice and you've got these guys putting out endless streams of amazing videos, everything they're doing right, everything they're doing wrong, showing how it works, free groups in every city, free seminars in every city, like total forums, support, newsletters, endless stuff coming out. How do you compete? There's no oxygen left. So that's how you dominate a niche. But notice that we dominated the niche having fun. It wasn't even hard. It was us being real and us just doing what it is that we do, okay?